He is now second in MVP. Is this Stafford's award to lose?
Absolutely yes. Also, I try not to do this too often on the show, pat myself on the back, but classic one by me. Oh, Matt Stafford's back. What's going on?
Was he your preseason pick?
No, but no, that's not what I'm saying.
He said he accused the organization of lying.
I know. I just said Matt Stafford. They were in a protracted negotiation about does he want to trade? Does he want a new contract? They get him to come back, and then all of a sudden he's going to be at practice, and it's like, my back. And
we're going to let this clip play, but this is not true at all. Nick was saying that how concerned he was that he wasn't even able to walk on a treadmill and all that type of stuff. Now he's trying to pretend like he had no concerns of Matthew Stafford's back injury or whatever. That's absolute nonsense. I did the clip. Greg Jennings was there. Absolutely not.
He's hanging out in a tractor trailer called the Immortal Chamber, and now all of a sudden he's playing the best football of his life. He was
That's
just
a good
chilling.
tractor trailer.
Yeah, he was chilling.
You were right.
And so, I think he checks every box, bro. Because we talk about this more with the NBA than the NFL, which is you're a voter, I'm not, but you have. It's like, do you have it off the top of your head? The pie you care about, like historical relevance.
Historical relevance, wins, your record, wins, losses, individual statistics, and then your supporting cast.
Right. And so to me, he checks like every box in that.
He does have a tremendous supporting cast.
Right. But if it's a tie, probably go to the old guy who's never won it. That piece of it. The numbers are unbelievable. He's in a premier market. So all of those things, he checks every box you would want from an MVP, and the team's awesome. And it feels like it goes through him.
It's interesting. I'll have Bruce ballot tomorrow, but I'm surprised he's not number one in the odds. Drake Maye is number one.
Yeah, I think that's purely because they project the Pats might go 14-3. And they think the Rams could not win. They think it's on the board the Rams don't win the division.
Yeah, and
Seattle.
Drake, the one thing Drake has, because obviously Stafford's stats are better, the thing Drake has over him is he doesn't have the supporting cast that Stafford. He doesn't have Puka and Devontae Adams and, all that. So even the running back, Kyron Williams. So it'll be interesting to see how voters look at that. But right now, Stafford's numbers are so prolific. Mm-hmm. He's had, 20 touchdowns, no picks in his last 6 games, I think. So I thought I heard that was maybe the first time that's ever been done. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's too early to say it's his to lose. I do think he should be in first place right now.
Yeah, the other thing that's a first, he has 3 straight games with 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. First time in NFL history that's been done, so that's pretty incredible. The touchdown-interception ratio is incredible. And I get Drake Maye because there's no expectations. He was coming off not just a season of change and a new core, all those things that make you kind of grade on a curve.
Yeah.
Where Stafford's been successful for a long time, so him having this level of success, even though it's incredible, you're still used to him being a really good player, so you might grade him down a little bit on a curve. But to me, it is his to lose it.
Yeah, I don't see this as Stafford's to lose. And again, to be very clear, I'm commenting on not who I think is the MVP. I'm commenting now on how I think it's being viewed and voting and whatnot. Because Matthew Stafford has been elite. Matthew Stafford has been special. No question about it. But it's not just who has the best stats. That's not what the MVP is about. It's just not. We've seen that over the years. And right now, Stafford has been a stat monster. But it's also what you needed from, the plays, the highlight moments and gotta have it moments of a game. And right now, Drake Maye has more of those, right? Even up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Like that, yes, his stats weren't as good as Matthew Stafford's, but Matthew Stafford has had an easy day at the market going up against the 49ers, going up against the Titans, etc. And Drake Maye now has had some big key moments of huge plays against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills in a gotta have it moment where Drake Maye is about to get rocked and he throws it to Diggs for in a gotta have it conversion. Going up against Baker on the road. Being stifled all game, gotta have it moment. What Drake Maye's doing with his legs as well. Drake Maye has a ton of rushing yards as well and has been picking up huge downs with his legs. And the Patriots are on pace to not only win the division, but now also be the 1 seed. And so if the Patriots are the 1 seed, led by Drake Maye, I'm telling you right now, he's winning the MVP. Unless he falls off a cliff, unless he starts throwing a ton of interceptions and whatnot. But if he's playing the exact same way that he's playing right now, and he finishes the season with a ton of rushing yards, 70% plus completion percentage, great touchdown interception ratio, et cetera, and they're the 1 seed in the first round bye, he's getting the MVP. And that's the problem that Matthew Stafford faces, because Stafford could be the 3rd seed. He might not even win the division. You have a real case with Sam Darnold and the Seahawks going up against the Rams. So I don't see it as Stafford's to lose. Stafford is playing, again, absolutely amazing and is obviously an elite top quarterback in the NFL. He's playing awesome. But again, when we're talking about the MVP, it's not who has the best stats. There's been plenty of other quarterbacks over these years. Tua Tagovailoa had unbelievable stats. Dak Prescott had unbelievable stats. Geno Smith had unbelievable stats. I mean, like, the NFL is littered with quarterbacks that have had unbelievable stats. Joe Burrow played out of his mind last year. He was not why they lost, obviously. We know it's the defense. We know the defense is absolutely awful. It was not Joe Burrow didn't win. People argue that Josh Allen didn't have the best stats last year. He still won. And a big part of that was because of some of, the roster combined with the gotta have it moments, beating the Kansas City Chiefs, who were undefeated at that time. Those things matter tremendously. Matthew Stafford, of course, is deserving of the MVP, but then you also got Jonathan Taylor, who's an absolute workhorse, but it doesn't seem like we're ever, anytime soon we're getting a running back as an MVP. Although, if the Colts have the number 1 seed, and Jonathan Taylor sets a rushing record, which you'd have to do the math to see how much, how realistic that is. If he can actually break the single season record, then Jonathan Taylor, if they're the 1 seed, first round bye with the Colts, Daniel Jones is your quarterback, and Jonathan Taylor sets the rushing, single season rushing record, hard to imagine that he doesn't leapfrog everyone. So this conversation isn't about Matthew Stafford not being good enough, or is he deserving. It's just trying to have the conversation about how these things are perceived, which is why I don't care about the MVP. Honestly, the only reason why I even decided to make a video about this is just to be able to talk about Stafford, what he's doing, and in relationship to how it's being portrayed and viewed of Drake Maye, Jonathan Taylor, etc., etc. I mean, if the Rams lose to the Seattle Seahawks and Sam Darnold plays better, does that mean that Matthew Stafford's MVP bid is just done? Right? And I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it's like, that's how fragile this MVP has been. 1 minute it was Josh Allen. No, it's not Josh Allen. It's Baker Mayfield. No, not Baker Mayfield. It's Patrick Mahomes. No, not Patrick Mahomes. Right? It's just like Patrick Mahomes had 1 bad game against the Buffalo Bills. MVP bid done. Gone. See ya. Like, that's how seemingly weirdly fragile this has been. And I think Stafford's case would be more solidified if they beat the Eagles, for instance. I think that would have gone a long way. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. That's what I take issue with the MVP conversation, because you're forced to kind of shrink other players or try to artificially elevate other players, but mainly shrink other players when we can talk about how amazing it is what Drake Maye is doing, how amazing Jonathan Taylor, what Jonathan Taylor is doing, how amazing what Matthew Stafford is doing, et cetera, and not try to downplay what Stafford is doing because of what Drake Maye is doing or what Taylor, and it's impossible to have the conversation without doing that. It is, because I'm forced to then be like, well, look what Stafford did against the 49ers. Well, look what Stafford did against the Titan. And, well, the 49ers were decimated with injuries and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, he did it against the Jags. The Jags lost to a backup quarterback, Houston Texans, right? Like, and then you're forced to do that. And I don't know. It the conversation never seems to go well, honestly. But so that's why I like to have the conversation through a more outside looking in. How do I think it's being perceived? And the odds kind of show that too. That Drake Maye is first, and that's because of what Drake Maye is doing. And I disagree with Nick where they're saying, tie goes to the old guy who hasn't won it yet. Not if Drake Maye is the number 1 seed. If he leads the New England Patriots to the number 1 seed first round bye in the AFC, they win 14 games, 13 games, whatever it is. I just fail to see how it won't go to Drake Maye. I just fail. I struggle at. The best case scenario is that the Colts win. Jonathan Taylor doesn't break any record. The Colts are the number 1 seed. People will talk about should it be Jonathan Taylor, and the Rams are the number 1 seed in the NFC. But if they're not the number 1 seed, if they're not the number 1 seed in the NFC, and it's the Eagles or the Lions or the Seahawks or whoever, then I can't see how Stafford wins the MVP. I struggle to do that unless he sets his own historical record and not some sort of streak where it's like, well, he had 4 games where he threw. It would have to be like, 5,600, whatever it is, 5,600 yards, 50 some touchdowns. Like it would have to be this, oh my gosh, this was insane. But even then I wonder what that would be like if they are only the 2 seed, or the Seahawks win the division and the Rams don't. Like that's what I'm saying. It just becomes a weird conversation. But those are just my thoughts. I'd absolutely love to hear yours. What do you guys all think about Matthew Stafford? Do you think it's his MVP to lose? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every single comment, so whether you agree with me or disagree with me, either way, let's get in some discussions, let's get in some fights, but ultimately, let's just have some fun. And please do consider subscribing. We're building an amazing community here, and absolutely love to see you part of it. I want to build something that we all generally feel connected to. It's something that we're really excited to be part of. I think we're well on our way to doing it. Please don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, as it really does help the visibility and the algorithm. Thank you so much. See you next time.